This is about living in the time of the coronavirus epidemic, set back in the summer of 2021, a few months ago. The PM continues to boast about the infrastructure plan, calling it a blue-collar bill that will save blue-collar America. I think I have said that the Senate passed it, but of course they have not, and they say they are on the verge of doing it today. Then it will go to the House, where it will run head-on into Fancy Bulldozzi's human infrastructure bill. She says either they pass both or it's no deal. We badly need to repair our infrastructure, but that second bill is a death knell. The COVID numbers continue to rise. They're up, they say, 900% in my state. What that means exactly, I don't know. The number of people getting the vaccine is also starting to rise. I just heard that there are 100,000 new cases each day in America. The numbers all roll off me now. Mistrust of government was born in me in a major way by the Vietnam War. I'm talking about mistrust, not skepticism. And that feeling was all enormously disappointing, because this was, after all, America. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. That place, the shining city on the hill. And unfortunately, now the feeling persists and has perhaps grown even stronger. From my perspective, I see the ruination of America, in the dream and the nation itself, and it sickens me. And no, I don't believe a single thing I hear from the government. I don't know whether they are malicious or completely ignorant. I don't agree with what they are doing, and I don't believe them when they say anything. White man speak with forked tongue, indeed. And this is an enormous disappointment. Am I proud to be an American? Well, yeah, but do I feel fortunate to be an American? Yes, certainly, but that but really sticks in my craw. Yes, I have a craw. It may be my favorite organ. It's that but that has grown into what amounts to a severance between the way I think things should be and what the government is doing. It's like two different worlds apart. I have said that it would not surprise me if states began to split apart, with citizens saying, okay, you can keep doing what you want, but I will have no part of it. I really don't know why it hasn't happened already. And those secessionists will be punished. They will not be permitted to withdraw. If it comes to that, it will be nasty. Once before, it was a civil war. This all is a very, very simple thing. To take one instance, either people do not understand basic economics, or, much more likely, they choose to ignore its fundamental, unrelenting principles, like, say, money doesn't grow on trees. Many people now think it does, and they think that doesn't really matter. Here is a law I think we should heed. There is a cost involved in getting things done. Okay? And the more important the project, no doubt, the higher the cost. People would like to avoid this, but they can't. Not if you want to get something done. It's inexorable. If you want to compete in the Olympics, there is a cost. In the Second World War, the Battle of Midway, we sent a group of planes to attack the core of the powerful Japanese Navy. The Japanese detected this offensive, launched fighter planes in response, and they shot down every plane we had sent. Not a single American plane got through. But the Japanese then had to refuel their planes, and while they were doing that, a second wave of American aircraft attacked. They crippled the Japanese Navy. The Americans scored a great victory at a terrible cost. If you want to get something done, be prepared to pay the cost. Today, Americans do not want to do this. And because we willfully violate this basic principle, our economy and our society has to collapse. It really is that simple. I've been reading pieces about art, and in one of them the author made a distinction that didn't make much of an impression on me at the time, but I've been thinking about it, and now I think there's something to it. He was comparing the difference between two reactions. One was, wow, huh, and the other was, huh, wow. Two very different reactions. He was greatly in favor of eliciting the latter. That was what he was going for in his work. One of the books I'm reading has to do with Chuck Close. I also watched a documentary on him, and I would say his work is definitely, huh, wow, at least for me. I think the key, or a key, to understanding Andy Warhol is that he called his studio the factory. And he was extremely productive. He was stamping it out, art, for the masses. Mass-produced images for the masses. Popular, pop art. Stuff they could readily understand. Soup cans, Marilyn, any celebrity. Also, Andy Warhol, the wig, makeup, and costume, that was a fictitious character. It's kind of important to remember that too. I think he would have loved bobbleheads. I checked to see if Chuck Close is still alive. I believe he is. Unfortunately, I also learned that several women have charged him with sexual harassment, gross sexual imposition, claiming that he made excessively vulgar comments while they were in his studio. No fiction there. So I'm back at that dilemma. If the allegations are true, and he is, at the least, a lecher and a creep, does this mean that I can no longer admire his work? It has been pointed out repeatedly that many of the men in baseball's Hall of Fame were less than salutary characters. It's possible that greatly gifted people might also be deeply flawed. So while his work might be, huh, wow, the man himself might turn out to be, wow, huh.